Venezuelans are taking to the streets of the capital in protest after President Nicolas Maduro claimed victory in the elections. Maduro is also facing calls from the U.S. and several neighboring countries for a full accounting of the vote.
Today, I want to tell all Venezuelans in the country and abroad, to all the Democrats of the world, we now have proof of the truth of what happened yesterday in Venezuela.
Bloomberg's Latin America executive editor Crayton Harrison joins us live from Caracas. Crayton, so how widespread are these demonstrations and what's the potential for them to escalate?
So we have heard and seen in some instances protests throughout the country, people taking to the streets, lots of calls for freedom, cries of fraud against the Maduro administration for the claim to have been reelected. But we are, at least in Caracas here in the capital, starting to see things die down a little bit. The opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, did come out in a press conference and sort of told people that there's a different way to protest, that she wanted things to be more organized and to be less confrontational. And so she did call for people to come back out tomorrow, but in a more organized way, more orderly way. So it does look like there's, at least here in this city, a little bit of a sense that people are heeding that. And after a long and very tense day, we are seeing the streets empty out a little bit.
We also see international pressure and scrutiny intensifying as well. And I guess my question might be, does this make much more of a difference in terms of a lot of the sanctions and pressure that's already in place for this administration?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, there are so many restrictions on Venezuela's participation in the global economy already. The U.S. did loosen some restrictions on some particular oil producers so that they can do business in Venezuela. So there's one lever it has to pull. But beyond that, there's a lot Venezuela can't do already. Its bonds are allowed to sort of trade on some secondary indexes as well, which has been helpful for the bonds. So that's another thing that maybe you think the U.S. could take back if it wanted to. But a lot of these things are also helping. They're helping Venezuela, improve its economy. It's in some ways can help improve the lives of Venezuelans theoretically, and make them less likely to want to leave the country and migrate elsewhere. So there are some incentives for the U.S. and other countries to not strike back too hard against Venezuela, despite what's going on here.